You're spending money on AI tools every single month, and if you're running a solo business, that bill adds up fast. But here's the uncomfortable truth most creators won't say out loud. One of these 3 tools is quietly wasting your time. One is overcharging you for what you actually get, and one is genuinely pulling its weight. I ran all 3 through the same real business tasks for 30 days, and the results were not what I expected. Welcome back to Venture Void. If you're new here, this channel exists for one reason: to cut through the noise around AI, automation, and passive income so you can build something real without burning your runway on tools that don't deliver. I'm talking to the solo founders, the one-person agencies, the consultants running lean. If that's you, stay with me, because this video could save you somewhere between $240 and $600 a year depending on what you're currently paying. Here's the actual problem. Most comparisons you find online test these models on things like SAT questions, coding benchmarks, and creative writing prompts. That's useless to you. You don't need an AI that can ace a math Olympiad. You need one that writes a cold email that books calls, generates a proposal that closes deals, answers client questions without sounding robotic, and helps you build systems faster than you could alone. The benchmarks tell you nothing about that. And when you're paying $20 a month per tool, or $200 a month if you're on a business tier, you need to know what you're actually getting for your money before you commit. So here's exactly what I tested. I ran 6 specific tasks across all 3 models: Claude Sonnet 5, GPT-5.5, and Gemini 3.1 Pro. Task 1 was writing a cold outreach email for a B2B service business targeting e-commerce brands spending over $50,000 monthly on paid ads. Task 2 was generating a full project proposal for a $4,500 social media management retainer. Task 3 was creating a 30-day content calendar with hooks, formats, and CTAs for a personal finance creator. Task 4 was answering a complex client objection, specifically a prospect saying the price is too high and they want to try doing it themselves first. Task 5 was writing a standard operating procedure for onboarding a new client, including the welcome sequence and first 30-day touchpoints. Task 6 was analyzing a basic business scenario and recommending a pricing strategy with actual numbers, same prompts, same inputs, same criteria, zero favoritism. Let's start with Claude Sonnet 5. This is Anthropic's model, and the thing that immediately stood out is how it handles nuance. When I gave it the cold email task, it didn't just write an email. It wrote 3 variations with different angles, explained the strategic reasoning behind each one, and flagged which one would likely perform better with a colder audience versus a warmer list. That's not just output, that's thinking. The proposal it generated was 847 words, structured with a clear problem statement, a proposed solution broken into phases, a timeline, and a pricing breakdown that justified the $4,500 retainer without underselling. I've seen junior copywriters produce worse on a paid brief. Where Claude Sonnet 5 really separated itself was on the objection handling task. Most AI gives you generic responses to objections. This one reframed the objection as a discovery opportunity, gave me a 4-step response framework, and then wrote out 3 full example responses I could adapt immediately. One of them was genuinely better than what I had in my own sales scripts. For the SOP task, it produced a detailed 14-step onboarding process with specific timing. Day 1 email, Day 3 check-in call, Day 7 deliverables review, including what to say at each touchpoint and why. This is the kind of document that takes a solo founder 4 to 6 hours to build from scratch. It took Claude Sonnet 5 about 40 seconds, GPT 5.5 from OpenAI. If you've been using ChatGPT for a while, this model feels like a significant upgrade in terms of fluency. The writing is smooth, it's fast, and for surface-level tasks, it's very capable. The content calendar it produced was thorough, 30 days, varied formats, clear hooks. But when I looked closely, the hooks were formulaic. A lot of, here's why most people get X wrong, and the truth about why that nobody talks about. These work, but they're not differentiated. Any creator already using AI is producing the same angles. The cold email was decent, personalized, clear CTA, no obvious red flags, but it felt like it was following a template rather than thinking. The proposal was the biggest gap. It was structured correctly, but it read like a fill-in-the-blank document. No strategic narrative, no problem amplification before the solution, no sense of stakes. If a prospect reads that proposal versus the one Claude Sonnet 5 generated, they're choosing the other one 9 times out of 10. Where GPT 5.5 genuinely excelled was on the pricing strategy task. It gave me a tiered pricing breakdown with specific numbers. A begin $200 starter tier, $2,800 mid-tier, $4,500 premium, with clear scope differentiation at each level and a psychological explanation for why the mid-tier exists. That was sharp, structured, and immediately usable. GPT 5.5 is strong on structured analytical tasks. It's less strong when the goal is persuasion. Gemini 3.1 Pro from Google. I want to be fair here because this model has real strengths that don't show up in the tasks I tested. Its integration with Google Workspace, its ability to pull real-time information, and its multimodal capabilities are genuinely useful in the right context. But for pure solo business writing and strategy tasks, it came in third place, and it wasn't particularly close. The cold email it produced was technically fine, but emotionally flat. There was no tension, no specific pain point articulation, nothing that would make a busy e-commerce founder stop scrolling. The proposal felt corporate. The objection handling response gave me bullet points when I needed a human conversation. The SOP was organized but shallow. It listed what to do without explaining why each step matters, which means whoever uses it won't understand the logic behind it. Gemini 3.1 Pro seems optimized for information retrieval and synthesis tasks, pulling data, summarizing documents, answering factual questions. If your workflow is heavily research-oriented, or you live in Google's ecosystem and need tight integration, it earns its place. But if you're writing to sell, writing to retain clients, or building systems that require strategic thinking baked in, it's not leading the pack right now. So here's what this actually replaces. A good AI writing and strategy workflow replaces your need for a part-time copywriter at $800 to $2,500 a month. It replaces a business coach at $500 to $2,000 a month for strategic framing and decision support. It replaces the 3 to 5 hours a week you spend staring at a blank document trying to start a proposal, an email, or an SOP. At $20 a month for the standard tier, the math is not complicated. Even the business tiers, which run $100 to $200 a month depending on the plan, pay for themselves the first time you close a deal with a proposal it helped you write. Now the catch, because there always is one. None of these tools work on autopilot. The quality of what you get is almost entirely determined by the quality of what you put in. A weak prompt gets you weak output regardless of which model you're using. You need to build the habit of giving context, who the audience is, what the stakes are, what a good response looks like, what you've already tried. The other limitation is that all three models have knowledge cutoffs and they hallucinate. For anything that requires verified facts, current pricing, or legal accuracy, you need to verify the output. Treating these tools as a research assistant that always tells the truth is a way to make expensive mistakes. My actual recommendation, based on 30 days of testing for solo business tasks, Claude Sonnet 5, is the strongest all-around performer for writing, persuasion, strategy, and system building. GPT 5.5 is a strong second and worth using for analytical and structured output tasks. Gemini 3.1 Pro earns a place in your stack only if you're deeply embedded in Google's ecosystem or need real-time data synthesis. If you're choosing one, choose Claude. If you can afford two, add GPT 5.5 for the analytical layer. If you're on a tight budget, one tool used well beats two tools used poorly every single time. If this was useful, subscribe to Venture Void. We publish deep dive content on AI tools, automation systems, and real business strategy every week. No fluff, no affiliate bait, no hype. Just what actually works. Hit the bell so you don't miss the next one.